All right, so if you are curious about harnessing the power of LinkedIn for business growth and content strategy, you're here in for a treat. Our guest today is one of the leaders in tech and SaaS, and also master of leveraging the use of LinkedIn to build partnerships. He's able to drive brand visibility and spark industry conversation. We are here with Vijesh, part of SNS. So hello Vijesh, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Perfect. So, Vijesh, just even before we get started, if you could give the live audience a little bit of background about who you are, what you do.
Yeah, sure. So I'm by trade, I'm a product manager, a technical product manager. I do work with a lot of technology and tech companies and tech products. Work in product strategy, go to market, and also a little bit of consulting on getting the right product to market. Um, uh, that's one of the primary things I do. But a lot of people know me from another side of my life, which is I handle the partnerships and community building side of Scalpers and Spreadsheets, which is a health tech and life sciences focused platform that's based in Toronto and also having roots in New York, San Francisco, Vancouver now, and also Montreal since last week. And also, a lot of people know me from TechTO. I run the health vertical of TechTO, which is the biggest tech community in Canada.
Um, so even there's lots to jump in with that, but even beforehand, is there what got you from point A to point B? What's your background in originally, and how did you get into hosting events and starting events?
Oh, it's a really long, boring, sometimes fun story. I used to do quite a bit of events early on in my career, and also when I was very young. I used to do a lot of events, community events, commercial events. I also used to be very, very active in the socioeconomic side of things. Working with different organizations, working with community organizations, social organizations, cultural organizations, in different capacities. But At a point in time, I shifted my focus entirely into my career. I started off my career as a software developer because I did a computer science engineering undergrad, and I went into doing software development, which is it's still my passion, I would say. And then following that, I did an MBA in between, and I went into business development and business strategy side of things, but again within the tech space. So I kind of have this notion that tech keeps pulling me back into this industry. But I mean, I love that. I'm a huge fan of tech and how technology is shaping our lives. And I would love to, be in this within this industry. And during this time, I started engaging again with media events and other platforms across different spheres, and that again led me to what I'm doing right now, because I used to be engaged very actively with all these organizations I'm working with right now, even before I was in any capacity, with a title, right? Before that, I used to be very active within these communities and organizations, which I think naturally led me to be part of these platforms at a bigger capacity right now, and I'm looking to do more with these organizations.
Perfect. So I found you originally, like, I mean, we met in person
Yeah,
first, and you're actually one of the few guests that I've actually met in person, and we started talking about events.
yeah.
And you also mentioned to me that LinkedIn is pretty big, and that's how you're doing a lot of your connections, and that's how you're meeting a lot of people too. What role is LinkedIn playing in these events, in these networking space, and what roles do you see in the future as well? LinkedIn
Well,
playing?
it's a probably I'm the right person to answer that for some reason, because I you would only find me on LinkedIn, not on any other platforms. LinkedIn is my go-to social media, and probably the only social media that I actively manage, and I actively spend my time on. So there is a screenshot in my phone from the last couple of days where it shows my phone's the battery usage of my phone, right? And you can see which apps use the most battery. My LinkedIn uses more than 45% of my my phone's battery, and everything else is way below that, like 15% maybe. The second most used application on my phone is probably WhatsApp, but it's at 15%. My LinkedIn uses 45% or more at times. I'm pretty much on LinkedIn most times, and I see that everyone in my network, or people who I want to connect with, are on LinkedIn, which which adds on to the fact that I should be on LinkedIn more. So nowadays, if you go to in any event that I am being part of, or any conference that I've gone to recently, you would see that nobody is using any other social media. You only see them using LinkedIn, and LinkedIn seems to be the QR code on LinkedIn seems to be the only thing that you now see in most people's hands, because they want to connect on LinkedIn with you, and that's the go-to platform. Even my business card has the QR code of LinkedIn on it. So yeah.
Yeah, it kind of seems like, even when I go to networking events too, it kind of seems like it's the modern day business card. Do you think so?
Exactly. It has evolved, a lot, to being just a social media platform, to being, your professional presence online. So it's the new business card, definitely, and I agree with that 100%.
And where did you see the initial spark? Like, was it kind of a transition of you saw, hey, more people and more people are on LinkedIn? Or was it kind of like, I went to one event, and going to this one event, I saw that all these people were using LinkedIn, maybe I should be there?
Oh, well, so, my, what do you call it, my relationship with LinkedIn started a long time ago. I used to have a very good portfolio of my career written down on my LinkedIn, even when I was, when I was doing my MBA. And a lot of my mates, my peers within the university used to tell me, "Oh yeah, I see that you have these things on your LinkedIn. Like, when did you set that up?" I said, "Like, I have been trying to, fine tune my LinkedIn." And that at that time I used to be active on Twitter as well, which is now X. But so for some, over time I have kind of phased out X or Twitter in my in my day-to-day social media. But LinkedIn took up all those free time that I started having. So and up to, I think, 3 to 4 years ago, I used to make sure I post like every once a month, or maybe once in 2 months. I would start doing some kind of posts on my LinkedIn feed. I used to write some articles when it was called LinkedIn Pulse, when LinkedIn Pulse came out, and then it changed into what you call as articles right now. So I used to write, interesting posts about what I do, or what I'm building, or something within the industry every now and then. And then after about post-COVID, I guess, the frequency started increasing. Now I'm posting more frequently, and I think together with what I'm writing and being on LinkedIn and seeing that everyone is getting to LinkedIn more, I feel that I'm happy that I started early on, building my network within LinkedIn, and I'm happy to see that everyone is now on LinkedIn and able to connect with me on LinkedIn.
Because even to add on to that too, I also see a lot of people, I don't think they truly understand like the potential of LinkedIn as well, and I think a lot of people also see it as something that it's like their resume, just they just see it as a resume at the moment. They don't see how they can like actually network, and that this is it might be the future. Do you see it as something like that?
Well, I think that's the present right now. Like, LinkedIn is not anymore an online resume. It was probably when it was, when it started out, but it's not anymore. I mean, even today, if you look at LinkedIn's description in Wikipedia, it says employment oriented social networking platform. So that's how it started off. And right now it's a lot more than that. So resume is just one. I would say one of the anchors of LinkedIn is resume, but there's a lot more different faces that you should be using on LinkedIn. And I recommend this to everyone that I meet, including people, new grads, people who are, right now going through their, their school, and I hear from them, oh, I don't use much LinkedIn, but I just tell them like, you're leaving on the table a lot of things which you should be having by now. Like you should start building your LinkedIn early on, so that you can, once you're ready to put yourself out in the market, you should have a good portfolio of things within your LinkedIn. And LinkedIn, you cannot fake anything on LinkedIn. You cannot post with a past date on LinkedIn. Or you cannot do interesting things that you do with other platforms on LinkedIn, which makes it more genuine. And I think LinkedIn is trying to maintain that the genuinity and the focus of being it a professional networking platform.
There's been a lot of changes also that have been done, and some for the better, some for the worse, I think. And I think that they're also experimenting with a bunch of stuff. We talked a little bit about, when we were talking in person, I remember we had a conversation that LinkedIn is kind of trying out video, and it also had, I think, like stories at one point. I don't think it has it anymore. What do you see that LinkedIn's doing at the moment? Why is it experimenting with all this? Why is like the reach gone down, which is a massive question? What do you see is going on?
I think it's. I mean, from my understanding, and again, it's not just my insight. I have learned this from others who have been closely following LinkedIn for a while. LinkedIn has changed, and it will continue to change. It's evolving, and like I said, it initially started out as an online resume for most people, and then it shifted to being the online go-to portfolio for what projects you did, what the organizations they worked for, what kind of things you have, I mean, what skill sets you have, and kind of a portfolio of things. But then now LinkedIn is the place where you look up people and you vet people on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn is also adding on new features in that space where you can get verified badges. You can get even companies and pages can get verified badges, which is one of the recent changes that LinkedIn brought in. Alongside that, what I'm seeing is something which you see in other social media. LinkedIn also had for a while was hashtags. LinkedIn, if you see, is I'm not saying that they are phasing out hashtags, but they have stopped relying on hashtags for a lot of things. Like bringing up the feed in certain, bringing up your posts in certain feeds, and also the way LinkedIn is displaying news is also changing. A lot of things LinkedIn is trying out is that, and it was late last year, if I remember correctly, when LinkedIn started experimenting with portrait videos, which is the videos that we see in reels and stories, and it seems like they are taking the same road that most other social media platforms have seen a lot of traction coming in. And if you see nowadays, most people post portrait videos on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn's primary video format itself changed from 16 to 9 to 9 to 16. So they changed the portrait format to come default for every video that's coming up, and they're also doing something that's different. I would say is I think again from feedback from the audience. Earlier, if you like or comment on certain posts, it will start coming up in your network's timeline too. So, LinkedIn is now. I heard that they are phasing out likes. I mean, likes would remain, but if you like a post, that popping up in another person's timeline may may not be you may not be seeing that very often now. And also comments, they want to see you're actively engaging. So like when people say CFBR, commenting for better reach, on a comment, and that makes it pop up on another person's timeline. LinkedIn has heard from quite a bit of people in their within the audience that they're taking feedback from, say that that's not adding any value to them. And probably misleading them to some posts that people they don't want to even see. So they are now showing or they are now trying to show posts based on active engagement, or people you actively engage with, or you see that they're genuinely engaging with certain content within the LinkedIn platform. So I'm seeing quite a bit of experimental stuff's happening in LinkedIn. I'm happy that they are doing that, because every social media platform is doing that in different ways, and LinkedIn is doing it in a way that it focuses directly to its audience, the professional network.
What's also super interesting is what was up with the period that they were implementing stories? I'm sure I'm not the only one that remembers that, right? LinkedIn tried that.
They did.
Why?
So I think I don't think they have completely taken it out of the platform. They are probably re-engineering something with that to make it more meaningful. So stories, it was something similar to Instagram and Facebook and Snapchat. How they're doing. They wanted to bring it up in a way that people stay on LinkedIn rather than post it on other social media. But then I think the something again, I probably can relate this to something I heard last week when I was at a gathering in Montreal. Someone told me they saw someone post a video, maybe a story of or a short reel format, something of someone seeing a pet on the street, and how cute they are on LinkedIn. And and the person who was telling me said that it actually took. I mean, she didn't have to see that. Like it didn't make any sense to her. But for that to being on LinkedIn, you can post that on your Instagram or your Facebook or Threads, where the following that you have on those platforms are looking for those kind of content. Over here, you're going to be looking at content related to your industry, or maybe about your work, about what you're thinking of in professional terms. So maybe that's why LinkedIn has taken it away for a while. I'm pretty sure they're going to bring it back, because they are putting in a lot of thought towards video and short form content. And they're moving away. I mean, I shouldn't say moving away, but they're kind of moving away from text content to video content. I mean, video with text in it. And also LinkedIn is trying to integrate some intelligence in terms of transcription, subtitling, etc. It's still early stages, I guess, because I've seen a lot of mistakes happen in the subtitling feature of LinkedIn videos. But I think it's coming back. The stories is coming back, but not, I don't know when, but it would come back sometime. Yeah.
Oh, you're bullish on thinking stories are going to come back.
Yes, I am.
Oh, Well, that's going to be interesting because I always thought I'm like LinkedIn has its thing, right? Like LinkedIn, it's for professionals wanting to network with professionals, and my thought on this was like I felt like it was trying to be Instagram, or it was trying to be, well, yeah, mostly it was trying to be Instagram. Like,
Yeah, it would. I would say, they're not going to give up on that because of a lot of things in terms of, where the social media side of things is growing. And I mean, it's about how we are consuming content. How people tend to consume visual content more than written content. And also in this age where we have our attention span is less than 30 seconds, or I think it's about 11 seconds as I've heard. So yeah, so it's kind of they want to keep that they would want to tap into that market, that audience, and however they would want to make it more professional and worthwhile for the audience already on the platform. So they may do some kind of tweaks in that, and they're gonna bring it back.
and for anybody that's asking about why the reach just completely tanked, not for everybody, but for quite a few people, I think we touched on it a little bit just because they're experimenting with a few things. But is there one like pivotal thing that you would be like, I could get the same reach now if I was doing the same thing 5 years ago? Now, how can I get my reach back?
So this is true with any social network. The reach, I mean, the network effects is what the network, I mean, the platforms work on. So the network effects should be virtuous. It should add value to the network that you're sharing things with. So I'm thinking the reach. The way to reach audience has changed dynamically over time. Like 5 years ago, it was in a different way, and today it's very different. And it's amazing to see how very different it is right now. With a lot of, especially on LinkedIn side, one of the things that I noted right now is you can't anymore see which is the most performing hashtags. There was a time when I used to look up and see to understand which is the most performing hashtags within my geography, maybe worldwide, and then see what's happening, what's trending, and you don't see that anymore on LinkedIn. That entire section is phased out. And that is because people started using hashtags to gain reach. Or if the Maple Leafs are playing, and the Leafs game is the hashtag that's trending at that time, people would start putting the Leafs hashtag on other posts to get their post trending to a wider audience. So LinkedIn started understanding that those hashtags may not be the best way to go for. And I see that LinkedIn now if you start typing a hashtag and if you start typing the first two letters, the autofill section that used to come up, that prompts you, these are the top 100 hashtags or top 10 hashtags, it doesn't show up anymore. That also has been phased out. So you can put your hashtags, but you don't know which is the ones that's working. That's how it is right now. So more than hashtags, what I'm seeing is when you're tagging people who really would engage with your post, or and don't mass tag people, please. That's a big no. I mean, just tag people who are relevant to your thing. Maybe you're talking about a particular a function or an event that happened within your in the last few days, and you're going to post about that. Tag that event. If they have a company page, tag that event in your text, rather than having an entire set of hashtags at the bottom. So, if you look at a lot of posts that's coming out right now, I mean, ones that are performing really well, doesn't have a lot of hashtags, but they are performing really well because people are organically engaging with it, because either they are tagged within the content or they are tagged in the comments. And people, that full circle, I mean, people are coming back to that content, and engaging with that. Maybe people are reposting that. And also, if you repost with, LinkedIn has this feature called as repost with your thoughts, adds more value to it than just reposting the content. So there's a lot of things that LinkedIn has changed over from the last 5 years, and this is one of the things that I see very evident in front of me every day in and day out.
That's a lot. I have a few questions. I'm wondering which avenue to take this down. But one of the big ones too is I have a friend who I keep telling her, like, don't put hashtags in your posts. I'm also like very against putting hashtags, and it's very different because I was able to get like a decent amount of reach when I was doing this on Facebook and when I was doing this on Instagram. So this question is going to go a little bit out there, but I'll bring it back to LinkedIn. My whole implication with it is, like, I thought that it's because AI is getting a lot better at like showing exactly who the content is to what kind of people, and even when we like run Facebook campaigns, we start to go like broader because we see like AI is getting a lot better at putting the information in front of people. Do you also see that as happening with Facebook? And is it also something that, I know we're not talking too much about Instagram, but that's kind of like my roots. Do you see that that's something that Instagram hasn't caught up with because like we're still pretty much implementing hashtags on our posts there?
Well, so I think Facebook and Instagram are the pioneers in hashtag marketing, and I don't think they're going to go. They're going to be a time where they're not going to use hashtags. But as you said, intelligence is catching up. And Facebook and Instagram are doing amazing things with identifying, within the Meta ads space. They they have added a lot of features from the last time I used it. It's been a while since I used it, but I used to also be engaged with a full service agency prior to my last role. I used to handle digital marketing I used to head that team. And at that time, I used to understand from my team how much of things are happening or changing within the Facebook ads or Meta ads, what is called right now, platforms. But in terms of LinkedIn, I think so LinkedIn also has ads and Sales Navigator and the commercial side of LinkedIn, where they do, but I don't see that being pushed a lot. There is ads that you see on your feed every now and then on LinkedIn, but it's not that you don't see that much as you see on other platforms, because LinkedIn's business model is different, and their revenue generation model itself is different, and compared to Facebook and Instagram. And in terms of how intelligent or AI is being used in these places, I have my own bias towards how AI is being used within social media platforms, and I understand Facebook is using AI very differently than LinkedIn is using AI. And the fun fact is, I still don't see a lot of AI being used within LinkedIn. It's only in very preliminary ways that AI is being, like, for example, help me write content, draft this, draft that kind of things. Not an entirety of LinkedIn knows AI can be used a lot more, and I'm pretty sure something is happening in the background where they are testing out a few things within that space, especially given the fact that Microsoft owns LinkedIn, and Microsoft has quite a bit of leverage with OpenAI, Copilot, and all these things that has. LinkedIn is probably the biggest channel that they can go to right out of the box after Windows platform, where they are already pushing AI with Copilot and other things on Windows. And I'm pretty sure LinkedIn is they are already doing some kind of background planning, or behind the scenes, something is happening where they're going to implement AI. And we are in the age of AI, and we should be seeing quite a bit of AI come through in some time soon. Yeah.
So this also kind of goes into the next question too, that considering it's getting a lot easier also to show the content in front of different people, and I guess LinkedIn's business model is a little bit different as well. Do you see it as the business model with LinkedIn and as the connections with LinkedIn being, is it best to be going broad and like trying to get a very viral post going, or do you think it's best to like make the majority of your content at least very niche specific, and if so, like how niche specific should you go on LinkedIn?
That's a good question. I would say I'm still figuring out which of these works, and I've seen both of these work in different contexts. So, given that in my role with community of health tech and medtech and fintech side of things, when I post within that space, I see that that's a niche that I'm targeting, and the audience who is interacting with it are these people who are who have that background or have that what do you call as some kind of ties to that niche. But you never know what's going to work and what's not going to work before you put out the content. And I'm pretty sure the concept of viral marketing is it's well thought out before you put something out there for it to go viral. But I would say don't post. I mean, if you're posting regularly, or if you're posting something for creating value to your audience, don't post it with the intent to make it go viral, because that's I mean you can do that if you're doing marketing, when your focus is on marketing something else, or even your brand if you're marketing your brand. But you cannot do 10 viral posts in a month. I mean, that's not going to happen. You're going to be diluting your audience itself, or diluting engagement across your posts. So what I would say is, create posts that makes or creates value for your network, and organically they would want to engage with that, share that, learn from that. And also I would say, this is kind of something that a pointer that I give my team also is, go back to some of those posts that you have done and, reference those in your new posts, because some of them are really good content that you have posted. Maybe, you have put it out, you posted maybe a month ago or maybe a year ago, and it's still, gaining, some kind of good traction if you post it again. But not entirely, not replicating the post, but reshare that, reference that, or bring that up within your timeline, which also gives a lot more engagement to people who engaged with it before, and the new set of people who didn't get to engage with it the last time.
Is there a particular type of medium you think that LinkedIn is on right now, or is going to move towards?
Well, I think AI is the only direction that I'm seeing. Everything is going to go towards, and LinkedIn, of course, is going to be targeting that. And I see that a lot of things they're not right now copying what's happening with Facebook or Snapchat, which used to they used to do that a bit maybe 4 years ago. When they were experimenting a few things, and they were looking at other platforms, seeing it, and that's how I think stories, came within the product feature. Is they were trying to, see if it works in FB, Facebook or Snapchat or Instagram. They should try and implement that here, and then some of them won't work because it's a different audience. But I think it's AI. It's going to be having quite a bit of what do you call it? It will have some kind of effect in how we use LinkedIn And I'm thinking it's going to be before the end of the year. We're going to see a lot of AI tools or AI impact that's going to happen in LinkedIn.
With this one, I was also talking to more about like the like if you think like video content's gonna rule, carousels are gonna rule, text are gonna rule, or is it just gonna like depend on who you're targeting?
So I think broadly, video content is going to work more, and I'm seeing that it is working, and it's being prioritized more, both by the algorithm. So LinkedIn is also working on its algorithm to make it fine tune it, and I see that. Given how and what we are doing with AI in certain spaces where we can still understand if the video is AI generated, or if it's good enough to be engaging. LinkedIn is going to learn that, and it's going to push your content out to more people, and I see that. That's going to be. Video content is here to stay. It's probably going to get more refined, and also I think such as these live streams that we are doing right now. When there was a time when we wouldn't look at live streams happening. We would only look at YouTube or in certain other platforms like Spotify, where we listen to podcasts or live streams. But now I'm seeing LinkedIn is pushing this alongside live meetings that's happening on LinkedIn platform. So there are a few things that they're trying. I don't know which of these would work, or which of these are here to stay for after in a year, which of these would be there. But I'm pretty sure video content is going to be it's here to stay.
Video content.
Yeah.
That's where I also started to with Instagram, but I liked it so much because I feel like even when you're creating video content, it's so great because you kind of hit all those touch points if you want somebody to get to know you.
Yes.
I think it's better than, in my very subjective opinion, it's
Exactly.
better because people can find out the way that you talk, the mannerisms that you have, and it's even when you watch a podcaster or a YouTuber that you like so much, you kind of start to develop a relationship, though one-sided, but you start to develop a relationship with them.
So it's I think to add on to that was I really liked one of the lines that you put out in the post about this podcast. Why people don't trust logos, and why people trust faces and people, and I think that's where it's all coming down to, where we are. We want to see real faces. We want to see real people talk to you or engage with you than content from a library or from some stock content that's coming in front of you, because people have started realizing stock content is available for everyone, and you can just create anytime. But putting your effort into creating something like a video content, even even a brief reel with showing yourself in it, or telling something about something within a 30 seconds reel, adds value. Probably 10 times the value, 10x the value than you can even write a long form content on. So I kind of see that's happening, and that's, I think, it's going to get better with Gen Alpha and Gen Beta now coming in, with their way of interacting with social media, going to be way different than how we are interacting with social media today.
Yeah, so you can't just be like that guy who's I was really good with text, and that's how I'm going to stick, what I'm going to stick with. You kind of have to experiment, I think.
Yeah, I think you should. I would recommend people to alternate between text content and video content, and do long form, short form. Again, long form would work better now. If you can condense that into 30 seconds or 1 minute video instead of writing a long form content, works better, I guess.
For sure.
Yeah.
So the second last question I had before we wrap the session up, but it's part of the connections with LinkedIn. How do you see the magic in the DMs happening? What's going on in DMs?
Well, DM seems to be more effective than emails, and in the last 2 months, I have seen that I have learned from people who are using DMs more effectively, and also I see that you can with the evolution of AI and certain tools which you can automate by connecting with LinkedIn, etc. We used to. I'm not saying the other side is bad. Email outreach is still good. It's still going strong, and we could. There's something that we already do right now. With automating email outreach, CRM and email connectivity. Everything is it's already there. It's been there for like what. 7 years, 8 years now, all those kind of tools, and it has gotten better. But now you can do the same thing with LinkedIn DMs. You could nurture your leads. You could nurture. You could do your outreach. You could do automated follow-ups and outreach using LinkedIn and automation tools. We have come a long way. From what I knew, automation tools was like Zapier and if this then that, tools, platforms. To now, you can write workflows on NA10 and build out what you call as LinkedIn outreach messaging, DM nurturing, everything you can do you just need to write the workflow and hands off, and it'll do the rest of the things. So, and that's after people are doing that, after understanding DMs are getting them more conversion rate or reply rate than emails. So it's kind of fascinating to see that. I'm intrigued. I'm trying out a few things on that end too, with my tech skills. But I'm not been successful yet. But I'm just trying it out. But it's kind of interesting to see. That's something that LinkedIn is now evolving into. So DMs is the gold mine today for networking. Yeah, and I would say use it to your best. Whichever way you can use it to the best capability, and leverage that.
Yeah, the one thing I do want to make like public service announcement for the DMs is that one of the things that we've seen that works well, and we've been told as well, is that back in like my Upwork days when I was like getting clients through Upwork, I would send like videos, like Zoom videos, and then put in the link. And instead of sending like this long text of my resume that people just like skim through, they combine it with what you were saying as well, videos, which hit those touch points. It's unique. It stands out. I get to the point more quickly, in my opinion, through videos. And I think that those two can be like a very good powerhouse if you want to get leads. Like, don't just like send out mass videos. Like, do your research on your client or your prospect, and send a targeted video, even if it's just like through a day or two, like to make them very targeted.
It works wonders, I'd say.
For sure. So the last question that I have is, we talked a little bit about Collision Conference also when we were in person and on talk before. And yeah, just tell me a little bit about what happened in the Collision Conference. For people who don't know what Collision is, also if you don't mind talking about it, and what's to come in the tech space.
Well, Collision Conference, which is now called Web Summit. So Collision, the name Collision was there until last year, and we met before I went to Web Summit. So it's dubbed the Olympics of technology. In Collision is called. That's the tagline that they use, and also it is kind of the biggest tech conference that happens in Canada, with I don't know, somewhere around 17,000 people showed up at Vancouver. That's what I think it is. About a month and a half ago in Vancouver, when they had it. It's a 3-day long conference of companies in tech of all sizes, startups to big companies. Everyone are there across North America. So it's one of the biggest conferences that happens in tech, and it's a place where you would want to understand, if you want to understand the pulse of the market or where the market is going to be in the next year or so. You just need to attend one day, and this is a 3-day conference with programming that's happening simultaneously across 5 to 7 stages, with an exhibition floor, with booths from big companies, everything at the same place. So it's humanly impossible to be to be part of everything at the same time. But as much as we could, I could do it. I attended, and I should say, I absorbed in. I breathed. I took in everything as I could, and I'm still reeling from the knowledge that I'm yet to put it into my actions or things. And that's one of the places where I learned about how people are automating DMs on LinkedIn, with workflow automation. So I talked with hundreds of brilliant people over there, and I'm still talking to them after Web Summit. The last 3 times it happened in Toronto. This time onward for 2 more years, it's going to be happening in Vancouver, and it's one of the biggest conferences in tech. And I would say everyone who is interested in tech or want to be in some fashion associated with tech, or wanted to, if you want to service that industry too, try and attend it next year. And it's one of the biggest conferences that you shouldn't miss.
Making a note about that one. I've missed it, but definitely something that we should attend. So just to wrap things up, I know I said that was the last question, and I get a girl who was like watching my conference yesterday. She was like, keep saying this is the last question, and then add another question. This is the last question.
The last, okay.
Last question.
Okay.
So with every guest that comes on, we always want you guys to give a piece of advice, one piece of advice, whether it's life advice, whether it's career advice. But what piece of advice would you give your 20 to 25-year-old self about career or life?
So I would give 2 advices, I would say. One is, have your LinkedIn, get your LinkedIn polished, up to date, be on it at least 2 to 3 times a day. Just interact with that platform using your app. It's not taking much of your time. LinkedIn, never ignore that. That's what I would say. One. The second thing is get out. Go and start networking. Go and make connections, and both of these are they reinforces each other. So your LinkedIn will reinforce your networking will reinforce your LinkedIn presence too. So just do that, and never worry about what would I do if I go networking. Just go networking. That's all you should do, and your LinkedIn would take up. Would do the rest of the things. You just need to get yourself out there in the networking circle and network as much as you can. Create as much connections, leverage them for connections through your LinkedIn side, or when you're engaging with their content, or for your career, or even for your professional or personal side of things. I would say mostly professional side of things. Leverage those connections, and LinkedIn is a gold mine that you should never ignore.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Vijesh, for being on. Is there any place that people can find you?
Well, LinkedIn is my best place. Yeah, that's probably the only place that you would find me very active and also very responsive. So look me up on LinkedIn and connect with me. That's the best thing that I can say.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Vijesh, and looking forward to talking and continuing to be connected on LinkedIn. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. We'll connect really soon afterwards too. Take care. Bye.